Thursday, August 11th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here in the weather on the One's Forecast Center, and we are going to see the heat gradually relax here over the next couple of days as we head into a much cooler pattern overall, especially the first portions of next work week. Also, the tropics beginning to heat up just a bit. I'll talk about that as today's edition of the video unfolds. Let's start with the radar imagery. And again, this morning, the active zone for showers and storms runs from parts of Arkansas, northwestern Mississippi, into portions of Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. Some severe weather mixed in with that. So a couple severe thunderstorm warnings with that. One in southern Kansas, one in western parts of Oklahoma there in the Panhandle region. And still some heat advisories out for a chunk of Texas, most of Louisiana, and southwestern Mississippi, southernmost Oklahoma as well. That's where the heat has kind of gotten suppressed down, at least the most extreme heat, suppressed down into that region. You're still looking at places like Dallas-Fort Worth in the upper 80s at the time I'm cutting this video. Now, for the Carolinas, here much of the Piedmont is in the lower side of the 70s, some areas in the upper 60s. Dew Point's really did a very nice job of dropping off effectively for us yesterday afternoon, so while it was a pretty hot day with highs well into the 90s, it was not a muggy day at all. Now, here's the upper air chart off the European this afternoon. We continue to see that ridge centered over the southern plains, but edging westward at the same time. A trough is carving itself out in the eastern part of the country. And here's what the European does by the time we get to Monday morning. Very well-defined trough over the eastern half, or I should say the eastern third of the country, and pretty intense little upper-level low sitting over parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and western New York State. And beyond, the trough actually redevelops again late next week on the European. So by Friday and Saturday, it sends another strong cold front through. That is not in agreement with all the other modeling, or at least some of the other modeling. But again, the European at least is showing that another push of cooler air might arrive by the end of next week. Now let's talk about the day-by-day forecast here today. We'll call it a partly sunny sky around the Piedmont, highs lower side of the 90s, maybe a few mid-90s mixed in. And there's the chance of a few isolated showers and storms this afternoon and this evening. Hit and miss, probably the chance of rain in any one spot not especially great. Same deal tomorrow, although the GFS is kind of bullish with the overall rain chances. And it's kind of got an upslope flow kind of look to this with some clouds and some showers around Friday. But again, it is a lot more bullish than some of the other modeling with the rain chances tomorrow. But then over the weekend, the next cold front approaches. This is Saturday evening. Low pressure over Indiana. There's a cold front trailing down from that then moves through Sunday. So it looks like, especially Saturday night and Sunday, good chances for some showers and storms with that cold front. And then behind the front, we get into that nice air mass. Monday, highs in the 80s with a partly sunny sky, maybe a couple of instability showers lingering underneath that upper-level trough. Tuesday, man, it looks great. Sunshine and lows getting down toward the lower side of the 60s in some spots by a Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Highs in the 80s. Low humidity looks really, really nice. Tropics, again, we're beginning to see the tropics heat up. I'm not really overly concerned about this area around Florida, the Bahamas, or this area that was once Emily in the northern Atlantic Ocean. But the eastern Atlantic, that is where things are most interesting, and there's the satellite imagery off the African coast this morning. A couple of very well-defined tropical waves. Now, a lot of times you get these waves that look very impressive when they get off the coast, and then they just kind of fall apart as they move west. But at the moment, still two well-defined tropical waves out there. And the modeling is hopping on developing one or both of those. Let me show you some of the model plots. First of all, the first disturbance, which is Invest 92L. General west-northwest track before a bend to the northwest occurs, of course, depending on what the upper air pattern looks like over the eastern parts of North America and the western Atlantic as we get into the second half of next week. The intensity models on that one here show a gradual intensification. This might be tough to see on the video, but that's the hurricane threshold right there. So a gradual intensification process is possible there. Let me show you the Canadian model out at 144 hours. There is that lead tropical wave, a very well-defined tropical system beginning the recurving process there a good bit east of the Bahamas. GFDL is very similar. That is the lead tropical wave that is actually a pretty decent little hurricane on the GFDL, and this is the wave behind it. All right, let's see, Hurricane Wharf, and again, there is a tropical wave This is out at 126 hours, so it develops one of those waves and has it further south than some of the other modeling. The no gaps, there is the tropical wave. It's a weaker system. It's a little further south, approaching the Bahamas at 144 hours. And finally, the GFS. This is what the GFS does here at 168 hours. Pretty intense tropical system northeast of the Lesser Antilles, and then beyond, we have the GFS taking this by Monday the 22nd, well off of the eastern seaboard coast, actually pretty close to Bermuda, and then up in the general direction of the Canadian Maritimes by, say, Tuesday or Wednesday, the 23rd or 24th. So, again, something to watch. Tropics beginning to heat up. It's that time of year where we have the waves emerging off the African coast. You can get these longer track type of tropical systems. So that area, especially the eastern Atlantic, is the area to watch here in coming days. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's edition of the video. Have a great Wednesday, or I should say Thursday now. Great Thursday, and God bless.